Hello guys, I am here with another ranking video, but today is going to be something different. I am going to be ranking all of the 4 My Little Pony Equestria Goes movies. I do not care if this isn't story accurate right now, I just want to talk about these. Also, there will be no biases, I am going off of personal enjoyments, and some things that I want to talk about the movie specifically. I do not care about objectivity. I am going off of personal enjoyment and other things in the movie. So let's get it started. Also, I'm going in movie order because I don't want to mess up the whole overall ranking system. So here we go with the first movie. Of course, starting off the ranking, we have the first movie. Now, don't get me wrong. Even though I'm giving it its placement on the list, I'm gonna say that when I'm done with this, but even though it's placing, yes, it is very weird, and yes, it does make me uncomfortable. I'm definitely not denying that. But I can't lie, there is a sense of charm when it comes to this movie. Now, see, people don't realize, if first movies, if it's something entirely different, then it's actually a test to see if it can do well. And yeah, this movie did pretty well, aside from some criticisms, but other than that, I think this movie did pretty well for what it was. It was trying to do something different, and it nailed it, or at least the way the movie did. But I mean, this movie is pretty good. A lot of people don't really like this one. And yeah, I can see some reasons why. It does feel like wish rushed at some point, and some of the characters are a bit stupid. But other than that, this did pretty well. Now, okay, I'm not gonna lie. When I said that this movie was rushed, I meant that some plot points were rushed. Now here's the thing, when Twilight meets up, when she meets up with all the human versions of the other ones, they talk about why they're not friends anymore. And yeah, we understand all of that, but they don't go as far as they could have gone. And the reason why is that maybe they didn't have enough time, or maybe they just didn't freaking feel like it, I don't know. But, it's not that big of a deal if you're just watching it, you know, a casual run. But for me, with me seeing it as many times as I have, here is something I want to talk about. The main problem with this movie is on how it's explaining important information in different media. And yes, I'm talking about books. You see, with me, I do have one Equestria Books book. I found it one day randomly at a bookstore, and I picked it up, just because I was watching at the time, why not? But, here's the thing. When I read it, it actually explains, how they became friends in the first place. I'm gonna explain what happens once they first enroll at the school, and explain how they become friends in it. And then they talk about, certain situations that they got going on and what happened pretty recently. And the comic ends with the character called Sunset Shimmer hearing all of this, and then she plans something. That is big information that could have been in the movie, but it wasn't. I guess it could not have made sense in the title, but come on, you could have at least squeezed something in of this animated. It would have been cool. But, that aside, it's not that bad. But, yeah, there's sort of problems. And also, here's another thing. There's a second book that is even a bigger defender of this issue. I don't know what it's called because I don't have it, but I have, seen some pages from it. This explains Sunset Shimmer's entire backstory. It explains, it explains what happened while she was Princess Celestia's apprentice. It explains, why she left in the first place. And this could have been a prologue to the movie. They could have played this before the actual movie started. It would have made more sense, but did they do that? No. Do I know why? Also no. Now, okay, even with all that, this movie is not that bad. Enjoy it. It's just not my favorite, earning its place in 3rd. Next up is Rainbow Rocks. Now this one, I have problems with. Now, see, look, it's not a bad movie. I'm not saying that. It did improve, but in my opinion, it's just not what I'm looking for. And yes, they started a band in a high school, but I feel like I've seen that term a million times, and I probably have. But here's the thing, though, like, it just has so many problems. And not, okay, here's the thing. Okay, like, I'm gonna be taking the 3 Silent movies for example here. You see, like, in the first movie, it was good. It was based off of the first game, and it was pretty good. It did have some issues, but it wasn't bad. The second one improved a lot. It added not 1, but 2 new characters, which was different. It was trying to be different from the games, but the same material. And the third movie was just perfection. On Sonic Adventure 2, it was just perfection. But here's my point. Like, new movies are supposed to like improve on the first one. I mean, they can either like improve it or be different, which are both good things. But this movie just doesn't do that. It just tells the exact same story, but in a different way. Okay, like, here's basically the plot. We have villains from a long time ago in Equestria's history. They were kicked out and sent to the human world without any power. And now they're trying to get power out of a high school, and Twilight has to go there to fix it. While also meeting human versions of her friends. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, I thought so. This movie's biggest problem is the lack of originality. And lack of originality is a big problem if people want something new. You see, when I first saw this movie, I thought it was going to be different. I thought it was going to be something new. And it was, but it wasn't. You see, like, the biggest problem is that these characters don't even acknowledge Southern Shimmer's existence for most of the movie. Yes, I'm being dead serious. I have some proof. But other than that, I mean, this movie is just not what I'm looking for in the franchise. Earning its place in last. Oh boy, that's gonna hurt some people. Friendship games, man. I don't care what you throw at my face. I don't care about the reviews saying this movie is just fine. I don't care about all the jokes you made. This movie is fire. Okay, this movie, this one's gonna hurt, is my favorite one in the series. Why, you ask? It improves on everything I just talked about the second one. It has a different plot. It actually has new characters that are actually interesting. And it actually has something that I can get invested in. Now, okay, don't get me wrong. I'm usually not a big fan of school competition movies. I think that they're sometimes potentially mediocre. This one is not. It does something different for once. They actually give Southern Shimmer a new outfit. And I'm not even gonna lie, I'm a sucker for anything with blue on it, so you know I'm gonna love this. Anyways, aside from all that, let's talk about the actual movie. Now, this movie introduces us to a different version of Twilight. Now, I know that may sound like, this don't make no sense. And it actually does if you actually look to the nitty-gritty of it. You see, like, this is their world version, meaning that this Twilight does not know them, which is actually pretty interesting because it shows them fighting against her and trying to team up at the same time. And as you guessed, that can cause some conflicts. And yeah, it does have conflict, and some of the stuff is stupid, but I don't really care. And for some reason, they gave them a lot of drip in this movie. I'm being specific about the same competition scene where they have archery, roller skating. I think there's an actual different name for it, but I don't know what it is. And motocross. They gave them all drip in this scene. Anyways, aside from that, this movie is honestly pretty amazing. I know this movie gets a lot of flack, and I don't understand why. This movie is balling hard. Like, I just can't stop smiling while talking about it. It's just so good. You can tell that they gave some real attention to this one. Hence, giving the story, which I just talked about. But, like, there's something I did that actually didn't add in the story. They actually add a lot more human versions of characters that we know and love in this movie, and they don't make them look bad. Now, honestly, the only real problem I have with this is if that Twi goes to a different school called Crystal Prep, right? And then the principal is called Principal Cinch. They could have absolutely made this scene amazing by making it Chrysalis. That would have been so cool. And yes, I looked up who that character was a while back because some people wouldn't shut up about it and I was wondering who she was and I looked it up and that's what it is. But yeah, they could have made that scene so far with that, but they didn't. But that's the only real problem I have with this. And another problem is that some of the some of the stuff kind of feels rushed at times, but it's not that big of a deal. Spike doesn't even talk. Well, kind of. He doesn't talk for like the first quarter of the movie, and then something happens, then he starts talking there. And yeah, I guess it makes sense if you look at it, but yeah, it does make sense why he's talking now, but like, other than that, I mean, it's not that bad. Oh my god, the final battle. Where have you been all my life? Okay, I get it. I would 100% get it. They don't pony up for this, which makes it look a little bit, like not as bad as it could be. But boy, you are tweaking hard if you don't think this is fire. Like, let me look. They have like a short, like DBZ style, like fight, and normally the villains just get killed by a giant rainbow, which that doesn't happen. This one is actually neat to look at. It makes you feel like that she did some real damage. Which, yeah, she technically did. She didn't kill her. That probably would have been interesting. But, she didn't kill her. She just sent her to this white abyss and then took her hand and then everything's all right in the world. But other than that, this movie is going in the top. First place. What's next? Oh, Legend of Everfree. Oh, Legend of Everfree. This one is actually not that bad. You see, like, yeah, it has a bit more problem with the pressure game, but it's not that bad. It actually does some pretty good storytelling. And honestly, this one was fighting for friendship games in the first one. Why, you ask? Well, okay, there is something about the movie that a lot of fans don't really like. I'll get into it in a while later. But first of all, the movie starts off with the human Twilight waking up in the bed, right? And she's late, and she's never late. And she's late for the field trip, but she's never late for anything in her life, which, yeah, makes sense, it's fine. But otherwise, her friends come to wake her up. And they start holding her tag, and all that junk. Then Midnight Sparkle comes back somehow, which, okay, sure, doesn't really make sense, but whatever, it's nice to see an old one back. And then she starts transforming the room and stuff and makes everybody disappear, which is actually kind of horrifying. And then she says that, like, she's still a part of her. And then, like, Twilight wakes up and we're like, oh, it was just a nightmare. Anyways, and yeah, she yelled stop at the top of her lungs, and that also happened in the real world, so they heard her. That would have been actually pretty scary. I'm wondering how nobody's looking at her right now, even. But anyways, yeah, and then they talk about it, and she doesn't want to talk about the nightmare because, scared. And then she looks out the window, and that's when the opening starts. The opening is actually pretty good. I think I might play it. Anyways, yeah, the opening is pretty good. Then they get to the camp. They'll meet two new characters, Gloriosa Daisy and Timber Spruce. Gloriosa Daisy is actually a pretty interesting character, but Timber Spruce I'll get to you in minutes. Anyways, with that, they get to the camp and then they start talking about things and they get their tent assignments, which is actually pretty cool. Not gonna lie. Pretty cool get their tent assignments. I am skipping over this part because it is cringe and everybody in the fans really hates it and I do too. Anyways, what they can do is they start talking about the nightmare, but they don't really talk about it. And then apparently Sunset is looking for her sunscreen and Twilight finds it, but it starts floating. And that is what caught my interest about this movie the most. I was like, oh my gosh, they're actually getting magic, cool. And it goes even deeper than that. Basically, basically to simplify it, they all get superpowers and then become superheroes. Like, a lot of people don't like this, but the superhero gimmick is not that bad. It's actually pretty cool. I dig it. But yeah, with this movie, basically, Timber tells a scary story about a camp ghost, and then all that stuff starts coming real, but it's not, let me tell you, it is not a man in a ghost suit. Trust me, it isn't. It's actually a different premise this time. You see, yeah, I'm actually going to this one hard. But basically, what happens in the middle of this is that they're coming to terms with their power and they're trying to like get used to it, you know, and all that. And Twilight keeps thinking that all the weird stuff happening is her, or she's thinking, or per se, she's thinking that Midnight Sparkle, which it is not actually. We know what it really is. Anyway, it's not her, but she thinks it is. And then, and like Sunset keeps trying to tell her that it's okay if she's the only one who understands what she's going through, which, yeah, she's not wrong, but, I mean, yeah. It's all good. Then they eventually come to an agreement that it's not her, it's someone else. Then they go into a cave and find crystals, and that's where their powers are coming from. So they take them, and Gloriosa Daisy is actually the main villain. She takes the well, they don't take the crystals. She takes the crystals, and then he turns into this monster of the forest, and then goes to the camp to try to protect it from Filthy Rich for turning it into a spa resort, I think it's a spa resort. But anyways, yeah, then they have to save the day, yada yada yada. And then they get these cool looking suits, which kind of make them look like superheroes, and yeah, that's kind of the point, I get it. But it's not that bad. These suits are not that bad. They're not as bad as people say they are. I mean, yeah, they're not perfect, but they're not bad as people say they are. And then the movie ends with probably one of the best songs. I'm not playing this song because I ain't trying to get copyrighted. Anyways, yeah, and then this movie, it's not better than Friendship Games, but it is better than the first one, earning its place in second. Oh man, that took a lot longer than Now, I am not covering special restrictions. Maybe I'll do that for another video. Otherwise, this video was a lot of fun. I don't care if I'm not in the store because you're watching movies. I saw this on a YouTube animation video. Look at it and I was like, and yeah, it was. But yeah, that's basically I just wanted to tell you to make them. Let me know if you want to do special. So as long as you want me to like enjoy the video, you guys know.